4 minutes later. Next, the quotation to resume what we are discussed from the Jigme Limba's book, The Treasury of Precious Qualities. Without having mastered your own perceptions, your own impure perceptions, dualistic kind of the ignorant perceptions cannot to be mastered to judge to your own teacher. And to look for mistake in other is on immeasurable errors. There is, if you are investigate curiosity and to check in the mistake for your own individual spiritual teachers, there are immeasurable evil or the errors. Like the Devadatta or Shinakara. Although he knew the 12 kind of the teachings by heart, the monk Sunakshara, consumed by the power of the evils, consumed, it is like kind of the according to his evil wrong perceptions mastered to him. And so the Buddha's action as all the times deceitful. And think about this kind of situations carefully, and it's very important to correct our own self or yourself. When the teacher seemed to be furious with you, do not get angry. And sometimes maybe this kind of happened. Furious is like maybe wrathful. Whatever you do, difficult to make pleased. But maybe there are some kind of the error, and we shouldn't to be angry, because it's like instead remind yourself that he must have glimpsed some fault in you, and like kind of the some several he seems or the to look or the to investigate our own some faults in us or the students. In order to correct, sometimes necessary be furious, or it's like kind of aggressive. Without that, sometimes it's difficult to correct. And therefore, do not need become angry. And it seems that this is the moment to correct well such outbursts. And outbursts, maybe it's like you can seem that your own teacher is like moment to correct, means like kind of the outburst is like become calm And also it's like a outburst means it's like kind of taming to us in order to correct our some defects. Of course, we have defects. We have negative characteristics, behaviors. If we haven't got, then why we need to follow the teachers? Not necessarily. Qualify, correct teachers, and they kind of seize our faults, then they correct peacefully or magnetized way, or maybe it's a wrathful way. And we shouldn't be angry or sad, because it's like maybe some is like teachers, maybe it's like complain, and it's something kind of like a blame, and this kind of happened. We cannot to be angry. We need to practice patience. Maybe we think, oh, that is my own faults. When his anger has abated, go to him, confess your faults, and vow not to repeat them. Abated means it's like he become calm, pacify his outburst or like angers. Then you go to him, confess your faults. In my life, many kind of happened. My own teacher, Drupal Rinpoche, not easy. Sometimes very much hot temperatures, shouting almost beat at me. I cannot to say, even I'm thinking I'm not mistaken, but each moment I need to take care. And don't talk few. And then it's later, when I go to his room, slowly open the door, he's smiling, laughing. And moment anger, we are not kind of, the great masters, not kind of normal person's angers. Never keep. The anger is kind of the taming process of the student. Of course, I recognize that, appreciate very much. And therefore, when it's become calm, and then need to go confess faults and to take the vow, never repeat again, this kind of. And also these quotations, treasure of precious qualities say, if your teachers appear angry, wrathfully, conclude that there has semi-faults in you or the students, ripe for correction with his rebooks, like kind of the blame. I think it's the rebooks. Rebukes. And but of course in the modern, everything is decadent and difficult to bear the teachers' rebukes. And also there is some teachers, they're using this kind of word, very dangerous. Look, did you study how to follow the spiritual friends? Gonzon Lam Shalom. And says, and then it's you should listen, you should respect. Some, teachers teach you again and again like this in order to teachers control. What are you doing? And then it's like very dangerous. You should be taking care. This is like kind of the big tap. Some mad guys, crazy guide, and fake teachers, they're using this. Some stupid student follow. Yes, look, we need to respect the teacher. even teachers rebukes, we need to be aware. No necessary. Not to qualify teacher, why we need to follow? Better to run away, from my perspective. To find some qualified teacher, really, according to the Dharma, according to the noble qualities you received, then doesn't matter. You should to obey whatever teachers does. It's like the rebukes is like correction, timing process of the earth. And also I need to repeat again. And it's sometimes, modern, there is lot of teachers. Everybody wants to teachers, become teacher. Like myself, Urchin, it's like kind of in the part of the tales. Urchin, I want to become the teacher. I know everything. Can you listen to me? Why you don't listen to me? A little bit word, mouthly. Some conceptually, a little bit to understand. Then it's like kind of, I should to become the teachers. Maybe you go to some is like a remote place. Maybe there's not really teachers. Serious no teacher, not truth qualified teachers. Then you pretendly to teach, like to kind of the be teacher. And also you can promote, I am a reincarnation. I realize this and that. Someone's like there's many kind of proclaims. I received the deities. I talked. I studied this. Reality is a liar, fake. And this sort of is a dangerous. They used this kind of the tools. Look how you could follow the teachers. You should respect me. I heard someone say, your teacher need tea. Your teacher, you should to respect this. Really the teachers, not like this. First, Patrul Rinpoche, really someone's to respect and honor, then he run away. You kind of the treatment with teachers. It's like kind of the same your like kind of levels. He become very happy. Of course, inner respect, inner peace is very, very important. That his mean is like this. And therefore, and also sometimes we say correct, sometimes, for example, Dzogchen Ranyak, also Patrul Rinpoche, sometimes the students' offerings accepted. If you can to offer some high throne, and it's like kind of the cloth, sometimes they can to sit, just to make the like kind of accept the students' accumulation. For our students' perspective, why not as much as we can to offer things that necessary? Qualified teacher, not crazy. I may say again. And also I want to say this before, I don't want to start. This sort of sometimes using, tool. Other some is fake and strange teachers. And then it's like this. Then it's like stupid things. Yeah, yes, my teacher said. Reality is how it's your teachers has quality. Don't know how it is described here, like me. Fake and crazy and mad. Nothing kind of the experience of the realization and study reflections from the Buddha's teaching. Then it's like pretendingly acting teacher. Forget this sort of. But you really to find the qualified teacher, then need for benefit your ourselves, students. It is such a benefit. Therefore, and confess and vows never to repeat it again and again. You need to confess. And thus the wise will not fall under the power of the Maras. This wise student, faithful student, devoted student, wise, intelligent students, never ever go under any power of the matter. And because this is like kind of the like connect to the qualified teachers, follow up all the obey the teachers like PT instructions, then this student is really wise, scholar, honest, determined, and pure, receptacle contain, and that are never ever fell under the power of the Mara or demons. 100%. And also it's like in the present of your teachers. When you be together the teachers, what you need, you really stand up at once whenever he does. This is like kind of the sometimes different the teachers. Of course, sometimes it's like maybe it's like kind of the too much each moment, but it's necessary for our perspective. It is like a teacher is standing and we are like sitting there, very kind of the, how do you say, consumingly or like kind of arrogantly. Not necessarily we are destroying ourselves. Instead of the just remain seated very relaxedly, kind of the ignorant. And even the great noble some persons, even the some other your like dharma friends and your friends coming, also they get up, stand up and to say welcome. Of course, and the teacher is necessary like this. When he then sit down, the equal after his well-being means when he's sitting, when he's relaxed that moment, just to kind of, how are you? Everything is okay, to like this kind of well-being to ask. And when you think there might be something he needed, at the right moment, bring him whatever would please him. This is the very, very important word, because it's like a right moment. I make a joke, okay. Once I Dzogchen Rinpoche, I bought a lot of organic milk. He liked these things and some cheese. And I brought to him and I put some in the kitchen without his seeing. And then I went back and then it's like he called me, what are you doing? I don't want all these things. I'm now going to the Ripa's shop. You want to make Ripa's shops? He's brought to everything. And like this is like not necessary, but not like kind of not right moment. If we offered, it's making more harming. And therefore, it's like right moment you think, that time is a really good things. Then you can to offer things. It is like kind of the good things. And like I was in my life, so most times the happy set. Once is like kind of the Rinpoche, Dzogchen Rinpoche was in London. And he hasn't got any money. He's working in the dictionary there. He has, I think, £250 for the salaries. And he's living in the Kaju Center. And on the shutter, one small like a kind of student room. But he need to pay £150. After 100 something left, of course, it's not enough. But he buy only the like instant noodle, morning that, in the middle that, in the dinner that. It's really amazing. Even difficult to bear over. If you think like this, his many maybe 4, 5, 6 years is like this. And then it's like sometimes it's not enough. He go to in the Chinese some restaurant. He asked job and he's working dishwash. Dzogchen Rinpoche reincarnation of the Dzogchen Jigme limbas. He not necessarily if he take the positions, and I think it's the like kind of the karmapa or the like kind of holiness way. 1,000 million surround and not. And I asked to Rinpoche to say, why you are doing like this? Maybe your food I can to offer it. He said, you are very rich. but I'm not a good practitioner. I cannot accept. You a Holy Lama, no? And he like kind of shot him. I was there, and he's like lunch offered to me, the momo. And I cannot to pay, even that he paid. Today you are here, I need to pay. I know. And then I said, before I leave, he said, I will go to in the kitchen, make tea for you. And I have that time, not much, $500. I put it under his radios. And he come back and he look around, and then he give me tea. And we drink together tea, and then afterwards, he brought me in the train stations. And then I took trains and come back to Belgium, and he called me, you are the rich, you never ever coming to visit me. I said, why Rinpoche, why you say like this? You are showing me that you're rich, you put me money here. I said, not me, liar. He's like kind of very much rebooted me. Okay, then I think later 1 year after, we met in Chengdu, and then he said, okay, now I used your money, thank you. And he came to in China, and he was in Beijing. He cannot go to Chengdu because he hasn't got money. And that time he said, I used your money, it's quite useful. I think it's almost that my life is most happy, that I said happy, thank you very much. Like this sort of necessary times, okay, why not? And no necessary times also qualified teachers are very dangerous. If you do something, it's become angry. I told you once, it's like their persons offered like £1,000, very much angry. Like this, some moment, right timers, then there is something, for example, during the teaching and during the gift empowerment, some in this kind of situations, even which kind of small tea and some small things, and huge things, I need that is not really necessarily some great masters. Do you find qualified teachers, not mad or crazy guys? When working with him as his attendant, avoid working in the front of him, as that would mean turning your back on him. It is kind of the negative way. When you be attendant, also you need to take care. You don't need to go on the front because you are showing in the back to your own teacher. It's like kind of your exhaustion of your accumulations, not kind of negative. Do not work behind him. However, because you would be trading on his footprintings, is also like kind of the stop. Nor should you work to his right, since that would be assuming. Assuming means it's like kind of very arrogant way, the place of the owner. Like assuming means like some arrogant way. I'm better than you. This sort of like kind of, and maybe sometimes says, maybe it is the too much for our Westerns. It's true. Beginning, of course, like this. But you know how you'd be a relationship with your teacher. Then you should to follow up this kind of things. If you do, it's a benefit for ourselves. It's like our students benefit. Our students accumulation merits. And there may be some qualified teachers. It doesn't matter you respect or not respect. You assuming or not assuming. And it doesn't matter. It's like maybe you are a great assumer. But it doesn't matter. And like this. And then what can we do? Instead, keep respectfully to his left and slightly behind. That is the very, very important. And should be like kind of the road be hazardous. Hazardous means very dangerous. and like kind of this sort of path, then you can to get the permission. We would not then be wrong to ask him permission. Can I go to the a little bit ahead to check it is correct or not things? Then as you go front, then it's no problem. And also as for the teacher's seat and is conveyance. Conveyance means it's like a cushion, chair, and like a kind of the like car seat, and also it's like kind of the rudder things, like these things you never ever kind of used. They said your teacher seated on that, then it's like kind of maybe better don't use it. Sit on the conveyance, never like traded on his cushion, and do not mount upon or ride his horse. There is like kind of the, you maybe is like mount open means it's like to foot put on his sitting place or something this sort of. And also it's like sometimes in Tibet they do, for example, some teachers horse, they never ride students. The horse is very happy, say that this, oh, my master's horse I cannot ride, all the time is happy. When his masters go, they use like this. Like this, sometimes your own really to teachers is like, why not? This sort of, there are many different things, teachers clothes, teachers like these things. And like really is a reality. Really qualified teachers, whatever these things, they are relics, we say it's relics. Now look in the Buddha's one hair, some other Buddhist countries, how much prowess, one hair, piece of hair, one piece of the like kind of the cloth, and everything is like kind of relics, and your qualified teachers, and therefore you put your feet, you do very strange things, is exhaust your accumulation merit. That is not necessarily to do it for our benefit. And of course, maybe, oh, this teacher is so complicated, we need, maybe teacher doesn't matter, don't need. For example, we look, I'm saying in the Shyaji Zenkar Rinpoche, he is himself, is sometimes, he's like falling into some food, he's pick up and eating. And he never taking care of the cups, he never taking care of any foods, he never cared that any cloth. Even his all the time his cloth he buy in the second hand. Never can buy one new cloth. Even he receives some new cloth, he give away. And like this, never kind of the, oh, maybe I'm become sick or I'm become never concerning like this. And also sitting is like sleepy, is like more low, and it's like only kind of poor beggar's way. And also it's like this sort of, they're not necessary, but our students benefit and must to respect like this is why not? Do not open the doors violently or the clam them, shout. Some students, they do like this, you know, when an angry time is close the doors. This is, you know, in the doors very violently close is not very good. And like this, shout and handle them gently, slowly. And there's like kind of the truth, maybe knock, maybe slowly to open them, subtly, kind of randomly, or out like kind of the burst, like coming, enter into it, not like this. Even that you are really good behavior persons, your friend, Dharma friend is coming inside very slowly to knock in the doors like this way. Respectful is it. Assistance from all the expression of the like vanity or the discontent in his presence. And sometimes when you be is like at the front of the teachers to make up, to make the kind of the showing the handsome or like kind of powerful or rich or it's just like kind of the like dress nicely or something. Not necessarily. Very important to be kind of the naturally. That is true. Sometimes artificially, it is like kind of the very like attractively, or maybe it's very handsomely, or maybe it's like kind of this sort of, not necessarily. And also it's like also avoid lying front of the teachers, and inconsistent or the unconsidered or the insi insincere, not really truthful, like kind of the something is like a kind of the unconsidered, means it's like whatever in the mind is coming, and then you are like kind of coming through your mouth, and also it is like kind of say funny things, ugly things, not like this, and like kind of the big laugh and kind of the play, and also it's like laughing things, this kind of the joking, laughing, playing, all this sort of, not necessarily. Some is really is a qualified teachers, most time they are meditating, they are serious. If like teachers is does something played, and you can, maybe some teachers is like making happy to the student, maybe they're laughing, they are joking, they're playing, and then you can to do enjoy it. It's a wonderful. And also unnecessary, or the it's like how to call that, the irrelevant. Irrelevant chats, irrelevant, like unnecessary, or the irrelevant chat may be kind of gossip things, reality, meaningless, gossip, no connection. This kind of you should to abandon. And also in the like kind of the, this is body and verbally. Bodily is like the kind of the not showing the expression of the vanity or the discontent or the like the presences. And also verbally, also avoid lying, inconsistent, like the insincere word things. And also it's like the like there is unnecessarily irrelevant chat. This is the verbally. In the mentally also we can to say is the learn to behave in the control the manners, and that like kind of the treating him with respect and aware, and never kind of the drafting into the socialness. Drifting into the like kind of the socialness. Socialness, or very difficult, yes. Casualness, and mentally like a kind of the to respect, and like a kind of the purely, and also it's like controlling the manner, means it's like kind of the nothing, kind of the ignorance, all the times to be the mindfulness, like kind of distracted mind is very important to abandon. And also it's like whatever we do very carefully, and it is like very carefully, peacefully, all the activities we need to study, and it's like this. Okay, I want a little 20 minutes to rest.